Hi, I'm Tammy at Simply Set Free, and today we're talking about simplifying our time. Now, how many of us have run into someone at one time or another, whether it's the busy Christmas season or any other time of the year, and they've asked us how we're doing, and our response is, I'm doing okay, but I've been so busy lately. Answering that question with, we're so busy, has almost become a standard response in our culture, and if we don't say it, it almost feels as if there's maybe something wrong with us. The truth is that living simply allows us to set aside the non-essentials and to focus in on what truly matters in life. So how do we make this all work? I know a lot of us feel really stuck in this area, so I want to provide some practical tips on how to manage your schedule and your time. So what I want you to do right now is to pause the video, get a piece of paper and a pen, and write down all of your time commitments. Everything you do, from work to your kids, to chores that you have to do, commitments outside of the home, committees that you're on, anything and everything that you can write down. Like I said, be as specific as you can. Maybe you'll need a couple pieces of paper to do this, but write everything down. The next step is to take a pen and highlight or put a star next to all of those things that are very important to you, those things that you highly value. For me, they're things like exercise and eating well, my relationships with my family, my husband, my kids, and my relationship with God. So take some time right now to pause the video and highlight those things that are important on your list. One thing that's been really helpful for me is to think about my time and my schedule like a box. Just like a box has a limited amount of space in it, there's only so many blocks that can fit inside this box. So our time and our schedule has limitations. There's only so many hours in a day, and there's only so much energy that we each individually have. Here's something really important to keep in mind. Saying yes to one thing always means saying no to something else. A few years back, I was doing some one-on-one coaching in the area of organization, and this was during a time when I was going through a lot of health struggles. And so essentially what was happening was, because I was saying yes to the coaching, I was essentially saying no to the margin or the time that I needed to be able to rest and get the energy back that I needed to be able to do all of these other things in my life well. There are so many good things to say yes to. How do we know what to say yes to and what to say no to? It gets kind of tricky, but here's what I do. When something comes across my plate, I look at the things that are most important to me, those things that I highly value, and I keep those in the forefront of my mind. The things that you start on your list are the things that you highly value. So when I'm faced with a decision, I can say, okay, is saying yes to this one thing over here going to mean saying no to the thing that I really value over here? And that really helps in the decision-making process, because remember, saying yes to one thing means saying no to another. Also, keep in mind that we all need margin. Whether we have health issues or not, we all need that time to rest and rejuvenate. So having blank space in your calendar is actually a very healthy thing. And finally, don't make decisions in the moment, because when we're in the moment, sometimes we forget about the context of our schedule. We forget about what's really going on in our life, and by sleeping on it, it can help us to step back, look at the big picture, and make a good decision. So a really simple solution to this is just to let the person know, you know what, this sounds like a really great idea, but I need to think about this and get back to you. Well, this concludes our first video, but I've got more for you to chew on in part 2. We're going to take that list that you made in this video, and we're going to simplify your schedule. We're going to go through the 4 Ds, so stay tuned for part 2. Thanks so much for joining me today.